Understanding the basics of wedding planner pricing. That's a tongue twister. Good day, everyone. Welcome back to my channel where I help wedding planners just like you get unstuck and thrive. If you're new here, I'm Zoe, and today I'm diving into a topic that can be tricky, but it's so necessary. Pricing your wedding planning services. I know it's tricky because it's in all the chat groups. How much would you charge for this? Or how much have you charged for that? Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your pricing strategy, understanding the basics can mean a difference between, as I said, thriving or just surviving. It's time to stop operating your business on a wing and a prayer. So let's jump right in. I will cover common pricing models as well as what to consider when deciding what to charge. There are four common ways wedding planners price their services: flat fee, a percentage of budget, an hourly rate, or a hybrid model. And let's look at them separately. First, the flat fee. That's a set amount for planning your services. And this works well for smaller, more well-defined packages. This is the first dollar I ever earned. Years ago, when I started, I was focused more on the craft and not the business. I was thirsty and I was in a hurry. My flat fee was whatever the clients wanted to pay. Don't tell anybody, but I was decorating events, y'all, for $300. I close your mouth. I knew that that was wrong, and I know it was bad business decision, but I just didn't have the courage. I did not have the courage to change. The client that paid me this dollar, she called me all the time. She praised my work and loved me to pieces. But when I came to my senses and I started charging appropriately, she stopped calling. Now, I don't feel no kind of way about that. She still loves me. She still loves my work. She just wanted something for nothing, and I gave it to her. And that is on me. This dollar reminds me that running a business, I have to make business decisions based on what my numbers tell me, not all the crazy stuff that I told myself. If you want to charge a flat fee, great, but do the math and then charge appropriately. The second way, a second model, is percentage of the budget. You charge a percentage of the overall wedding budget. Typically, planners charge anywhere from 10 to 20% of the total budget. Easy, right? Yeah, no. Let me give you a quick example. Let this red velvet cheesecake represent a wedding that you're planning that is $50,000. And if you charge 15%, that would be like two, maybe three slices. If you charge 15%, that's $7,500. But if you're not tracking your time and your costs properly, you might end up making less than minimum wage per hour. Something to think about, right? Thirdly, there's the hourly rate. For that, I want to represent by one of my favorite things, an hourglass. Hourly rate is great for partial planning services or consultations. Easy, right? No, no. Yeah, it is kind of easy, but you have to track, you have to write down your hours. And two, you just can't pull random numbers out of the air. Oh, I'm gonna charge $25 an hour. That sounds good. No, ma'am. You need to know your numbers. So stick around. I will go over that in the next section. And finally, there's a hybrid model. That is like a combination of a base fee plus a percentage. And this is useful when you're doing luxury weddings where budgets can grow unexpectedly. And planners of luxury weddings, they can be working relentlessly with brides for over a year, sometimes two. And we can probably all agree that the bigger the budget, the more that is required. So briefly, the models again, you can charge a flat fee, a percentage of the budget. You can choose an hourly rate or a hybrid model. But first you have to calculate your numbers. Once you calculate your numbers, then you can select the model. The blessing and the curse of being in business is it's not just one and done. Things are always evolving. So if one model no longer works for you, you can change it. No harm, no foul. Just pick a lane and stick with it for a little while to see if it works. Don't stress too much over it. Just make a decision on what you're going to charge, the type of model you're going to use to charge, and try it. If it doesn't work, just change to something else. Once you calculate your numbers, that should give you a better idea of which model to choose. So drop a comment below if you are already using a model and tell me if you're using one or what works best for you. Okay, deep breath. You ready for part two? All right. I want you to stop walking around here working harder than a Hebrew slave, yet broker than the Ten Commandments. You ready? Okay. Remember, if you hear the word and do nothing about it, you are only fooling yourself. Okay. Section 2, what to consider when setting your price. This is the good part. Now that you know the models, how do you decide how much to charge? You probably noticed that selecting the model still does not tell you how much to charge. And this is where things gets a little sticky and where people get stuck because some don't know what to do. Some know what to do and are afraid to do it, like I was in the beginning. And some people would just rather do other things. Listen, I don't want to be figuring out all these numbers. It's just not what I do. I'm just going to throw something out there and see if it works. As I said, if you're going to thrive in business, there is really no way around it. You must do the math. But here's the good news. Once you do it, your confidence is going to go through the roof and you can move on to other areas in your business that require your attention. So please, let's just get this pricing thing behind us so that we can move on and start growing our business. Here are 7 things for you to consider when developing your pricing strategy. The first 3, not so much so. It's good to know, but it's not the meat and potatoes. The meat and potatoes comes with items 4 through 7. First, you have to consider your experience, your location, type of service, your expenses, your salary, profit, and finally taxes. Your experience. If you're just starting out, your rates might be lower than somebody who's been in the business for 10 plus years. But that does not mean free. It really doesn't. And it really does not mean deep discounts. If you feel like, oh, I just don't, uh, if it'll make you feel better, give a discount of 10%. I already told you my horror story. And once you go down that path of free 99, it is hard to abandon it. Just don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Give a little bit of a discount but don't give away the whole farm. You're going to do an excellent job because that's just who you are. So charge appropriately, okay? And knowing your numbers will help with that. Secondly, location. A wedding planner in New York obviously will charge more than one in a small town. A good example of that is a colleague of mine that she does wedding design in Carlisle, South Carolina. She always says that really there's no industry there, and the per capita income is around 22,000. And what she does is she offers brides in her immediate area one packet, but most of her efforts are in Charlotte, which is about 60 miles away. And obviously, people living in Charlotte are in a better financial position to pay more. So it makes sense that her packages are catered to people's income. So consider your location when deciding what to charge. Also, the type of service. Are you offering full planning, partial planning, day of coordination? Each require different levels of effort and expertise. Now we're going to get into the meat and the potatoes, the part that I love. Let's talk about, get your pencils, let's talk about expenses because this is where I lose many people. It takes a little effort, but the rewards are great. It will probably take about 2 hours to gather all your numbers. And I know that's not a problem because you would probably just be strolling on the internet anyway. There is a cost to running your business. I'll go over some of my numbers. Hold strap in, okay? HoneyBook, $40 a month. Canva, $129 a year. Whatever I pay the assistants, their hourly rate. Transportation, $380 a month. Office space, office supplies, storage space, $240 a month. Utilities, $250 a month. Phone, $250 per month. Hit 'em up, $60 a year. Insurance, $70 a month. Dropbox, $9 a month. Google services, $7 a month. Website, $288 a year. Yeah, wait, yeah, there is more, but you tell me, how in the world am I supposed to pay all of that out of $300 plus get decorations? This is why you can't have it all in your head. Once you put it on paper, it just got real. You cannot ignore it. What they used to say in nursing, if it isn't written, it wasn't done. But if you write it down and you see it, it just got real, and you're gonna be saying to yourself, like, let make it make sense. There is no reason in the world I should have been charging $300. Couldn't even pay the bills. Anyway, your expenses. You have to gather all of your expenses. That's gonna take a little time, but it'll be worth it in the end. Next, your salary. Come closer. This is going to blow your mind. You must pay yourself for running your business. But why, you say? For the same reasons you get out of bed and leave your house to work for someone else. As a business owner, you are doing the work of about 15 people and don't pay yourself. Stop it. The figure this figure of what to pay yourself, you put into your projections from the start. Remember that pie? Get your slice first. Do not pay yourself from the leftovers because a lot of time there's nothing left. So this is how you figure out your salary. You decide how much you want to earn per year. Replacing your current salary might be a starting point, but just be realistic. All right, let's say you want to earn $12,000 a year for running your business. This is your salary. This is what you put in your pocket. You want to earn $12,000 a year, and you project you will plan 12 weddings per year. So 12,000 divided by 12 is 1,000. you will charge each bride $1,000 off the top for your salary. When you are writing your proposal at the top, and this doesn't have to be in their proposal, this is in your behind the scenes paperwork. $1,000 made payable for me, CEO, for running this company, each bride. If you project you only plan 6 weddings per year, you will charge each bride $2,000 for your salary. $2,000 off the top, line one, CEO of the company, payable to Zoe Whitaker. Now, if these amounts make you uncomfortable, no worries. Use a smaller number until you get into the habit of paying yourself. But you have to project it ahead of time and put that in your pricing. So far we have expenses and we have your salary. Third is profit. Plan for profit. This is money that you earn above and beyond just paying yourself or paying the bills. The way I plan for profit is by percentage. Many people don't do this, but it's something that I do. For each client, I add 10% to their charge, and that is earmarked specifically for profit. Now, some of the ways I use my profit or spend it, I use it to give gifts to contractors or customers. I use it to take courses and to attend seminars, maybe to buy new equipment. But if the cash is not in the profit account, then I don't spend it. But I use it to elevate my business. And finally, there are taxes. While you planning, you know you have to pay Uncle Sam. Now, I am not a tax advisor and I am not an accountant. This is what I do. As a business owner, you are responsible for paying your own taxes. As an employee, your employer takes it out. But as a business owner, you're responsible for paying your own taxes. And many times that is quarterly. But your tax attorney or your tax place at your municipality will tell you when your taxes are due. But I am in the 15% tax bracket, so I add 15% of the charges to cover any taxes. So to briefly go over everything as far as what you need to consider when charging, your experience, your location, type of service, your expenses, your salary, and taxes. The final step in bringing it all together is to add everything together and divide by the projected number of clients you expect to serve, and that is what you charge. If your yearly total for everything comes to $20,000 and you plan to service 12 brides per year, your minimum price for each bride, I rounded up, is $1,700. Easy math. And once you get accustomed to doing that, it becomes easier and easier. But for right now, and I know it's a mouthful. But before we wrap up, I do have an online tool that I use, and it's easy, and it just takes the guesswork out of setting your rates by factoring in the items that I just talked about, your salary, labor, taxes, profit, expenses. All you do is gather your numbers and put it in the tool, and it does the calculations. You just plug in a few numbers and it gives you a suggested price range that's fair for you and attractive to your clients. If you want to check it out, it's linked below in the description. It was a game changer for me and it can be for you as well. But here's the caveat. Once you get your suggested price, you have to have the coverage to put it out there and charge for your services appropriately. And that is it for today's video. If you found it helpful, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe so you don't miss out on more tips on running your wedding planning business. Leave a comment below if you have any questions, and I'll be sure to answer them. Next week, I will explain ways to manage all that cash that you have coming through the door. Until next time, I want to leave you with this. Your strength does not come from what you can do. It comes from overcoming something you never thought you could. I'm Zoe. Peace out.